Good day and welcome. And I'm really pleased once again to have Dr. Dwain Neal, the chair of Reach Society, and he will be telling us about the 12th Careers Conference and the inspirational events across the country that they will be hosting and facilitating. Good day, Dwain. How are you?
Rudy, good morning. I am well. You well?
All is well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Dwain, before we start, tell us a bit about the branding that's on your jersey there. Looks quite interesting, actually.
I was hoping you would notice it. We've had it now for 2 or 3 years. It's actually our logo to use during our celebration of Windrush Day Thanksgiving gatherings, because most folks will be aware that in 2018, Windrush Day became a national day of commemoration in June, 22nd of June. And Reach Society used that as an opportunity to celebrate cultural esteem. And this was the logo that we developed. It shows 3 generations of family members. It shows the society's logo, and it talks about celebrating cultural esteem. So I use it as often as I can to remind folks of our contribution to this country over more than 75 years.
Absolutely, and that's great because also it's a reflection of the progression as well, which is excellent.
No doubt about that.
Okay, great. So we're in 2024. It's the 1st of March, and the 12th Careers Conference will be held on the 2nd of April. And of course, it's an annual event. So tell us more. What's in store for us this year?
Well, the 12th Annual Careers Conference is continuing a tradition now that we've developed in Reach Society for inspiring young people. And for young people to be admitted, they need to be age 13 and above. And if they are 16 or younger, they need to attend with a responsible adult. But you know, the format of the annual careers conference is broadly the same, but it also gives us flexibility to add things which are interesting and impactful. And you know, in store will be somewhere in the region of 45 exhibitors from a wide range of sectors, somewhere in the region of 50 role models from a wide range of skill sets. We will have our usual perfect 10 workshops, and there are 10 themed workshops. And we will end the event on our annual panel of experts. And this year we have some really interesting people for that. So high level, that's what's in store for attendees. And to be admitted, all attendees need to register via Eventbrite.
Okay, thanks for that. So the promo flyer shows a figure of 11,520 young people impacted. So what does this actually mean?
I'm glad you asked that question, Rudy, because what we have done from the very first event in 2012 is we have recorded the number of attendees at our careers conferences. And so what that number exemplifies is the cumulative total of young people who have been impacted by this particular event, the careers conference, in the time we've been running it. So this year will be our 12th. We hope to add roughly another 1,000 young people to that 11,500 who we will have impacted by the end of this year's event. And that for us is a nice reminder that we are reaching an increasing number of young people as time goes by.
And I must say, it more than likely is the largest event of its kind, generated from within the community, utilizing its own human and financial resources, some support obviously from sponsors, but primarily from within the community. Could you talk a bit about that? Because increasingly we're thinking about systemic development now and community collaboration that has a collective impact.
Yeah. Let me start by saying you use the word sponsorship, but I can tell you our careers conference is not sponsored by any one organization. However, our careers conference, we charge a tariff to the exhibitors, and the tariff allows us to cover the cost of hosting that event in Bloomsbury. And so it is entirely owned and run by Reach Society, but all of the exhibitors who take part are obliged to pay a tariff. And cumulatively, that allows us to be able to afford that wonderful large space in Bloomsbury. But if you put the financial side aside, that's very important, but it's not all that the Careers Conference is about. We have lots of ongoing collaborations which are on display in the event. For example, we will have 3 or 4 community-led groups, such as LBEN, London Black Educators Network, such as RAFA, who you will know because you led RAFA for a number of years, such as Enfield Caribbean Association. And this year we will have the Cancer Black Care organization, founded and run by one of my management team members who has recently stepped down, but that relationship continues, and his chief executive will be there at the event. So that's the third sector, just to give you a flavor of that. But we also have ongoing working relations with private sector organizations. And I would say the most significant ones from the private sector include the likes of Lloyd's of London, the likes of Deloitte, and, you know, firms like HS2 and others. We also have a number of medium-sized and smaller firms, and the first time this year, we will have E100 Club, and that is a small enterprise, it's a private enterprise, and they see themselves as an entrepreneurial university. And they offer a wide range of training programs for would-be entrepreneurs so that when they start developing their great ideas, they actually know how to run those businesses successfully, and they will be there. Going back a little bit to the third sector, there is an organization known as SEO, which is sponsors for educational opportunities. We were introduced to them end of last year, and they do tremendous work in training and developing talent to actually win jobs in the insurance sector and in the city. And I've met their chief executive. I've been to their office. They are a tremendous, third sector organization. And we will be collaborating more with them because they recognize they can talent spot in our big events and then take those talents through their training programs. And of course, we've got a number of public sector collaborators as well. So that's why when I said earlier, we have somewhere in the region of 45 exhibitors, they come from all 3 sectors. But of course, as you know, Rudy, that doesn't begin to tell anyone everything about the Careers Conference because we have 10 themed workshops. And those themed workshops will address areas that we think are important for young people and their families to know now so they can use the information to take intelligent and informed decisions about the future of those young people. So that's how we make the Careers Conference viable, by charging exhibitors a tariff and also by having a really good mix of firms who exhibit and also people who showcase themes which are important. I didn't mention, and this is the last point I will mention, I didn't mention Durham University, not because they're not significant, because they're hugely significant. But this year, Durham University have agreed to showcase their awareness effort about their annual STEP program. And STEP stands for Space to Explore Potential. And it is specifically for year 12 Black students who do a summer placement in Durham University. During that placement, they're assessed. And if they are successful in that assessment, they are offered discounted grades in order to study at that university. So let's put it in a very simple nutshell. If you need 3 grade A's in order to be admitted to Durham on any particular course, if you've been assessed through the STEP program as being successful, the offer to you will be 3 grade B's. And for most talented young people, they're still going to get their grade A's, but by offering them 3 grade B's, you take the pressure off them. And what we are proud to announce is that this year, Durham will be taking in 250 young people, all in year 12, and they're all from our community.
Excellent. And you certainly are developing a unique system in terms of the pathways to access. And of course, with your role models, there's that support, that necessary ongoing support. So excellent. And long may it continue and progress. Now, you've touched on one or two of the new areas that will be taking place at this year's conference. Are there any other new additional activities?
You're right. I've touched on a number of them, and let me just highlight the ones I've mentioned, which are new once again. We have never had Cancer Black Care involved. And so that in itself is new because, as you will know, because you lead on this work, prostate cancer is a real issue in our community. And Cancer Black Care specializes in information about that. So that's one area of newness which we didn't have before. Another area is what I've already touched on in detail in Durham, promoting their STEP program at our event. Normally they would do it maybe a month earlier in their own separate event, and that is good. Other interesting and new areas are the new exhibitors, because I've mentioned the E100 club, and that is really, really innovative. So those are just 3 or 4 of the key areas where folks will not have seen those organizations or activities in any previous events. The other thing which I'm proud to say is quite new, and it's actually multifaceted. We have quite a lot of new role models who are going to be showcasing their skill sets on our panel of experts. And those folks have not featured with us before. And they will also be part of the cohort of role models. So there must be somewhere in the region of 15 or more of those individuals who have never been role models or on our panel of experts before. And they will be there and they will be engaging with the young people. So from our standpoint, there are a number of touch points which are going to be new the first time at this year's Careers Conference.
Absolutely. And from my perspective, I'm really pleased that you have included what we say prostate health, particularly as the onset of condition is when, young men and when we're at our strongest and fittest. So that's the time that we want to raise awareness and understanding. And it's so great, especially with the leadership of Dr. Frank Chinawanda, who's done wonderful work in this area. So Dwain, tell us a bit more about the whole inspirational events for this year and explain to our listeners and viewers.
Yeah, no, thank you, Rudy. It's a wonderful opportunity to give that overview of what the 2024 calendar has in store for the whole of the country. And I start with that by saying all of the events designed and rolled out by Reach Society are known collectively as our inspirational events. And that label is the perfect fit because they're all designed to impact and inspire our young people. And so we're proud to confirm that this year we will be rolling out an event in Manchester, and it'll be the second time we will visit that large city. We will be rolling out two events in Birmingham. In fact, we are there only next week, and we will be there on the 18th of March. The first of those two events will be with Birmingham City University. And once that university became aware of us, they wanted to collaborate with us. So we will be there hosting a panel of experts with some amazing professionals from our community, men and women, who will be interacting with a large cohort of their students. And the second trip to Birmingham will be at the BMet College in Sutton Coldfield. Again, there will be somewhere in the region of 300 to 500 of their students who will interact with a nice cohort of firms. And we're looking at somewhere in the region of 24 firms, and again, an equivalent number of role models. And we will have our characteristic panel of experts in that event. We are again going to be in Luton, and the Luton Bedfordshire area is looking to be even stronger for us now, because it was only yesterday we were at the Luton Sixth Form College with somewhere in the region of 500 of their students experiencing our employability day in that college. And then we're back in Luton again, this time near the airport on the 28th of May. And that event will be the third that we will have done in May in Luton. And we're expecting easily 500 local young people with family members come into that. And of course, we can't ignore our presence in London, because London is where we started to innovate and developed a lot of the programs, you know, the employability days, the careers conference. Folks have heard me talking already about the annual careers conference, but we're also going to be collaborating with Imperial College in June, where their, you know, Black Graduates Careers Conference, we co-designed that with them, and they will expect to have somewhere in the region of 300 to 400 Black graduates drawn from a wide range of universities, hearing about the possibilities of doing postgraduate study in Imperial College, which would help to relaunch their careers. And we're also again collaborating with Brunel University in their campus in Uxbridge. So taken all together, we will have quite a lot going on across the year, and there will be no other year in the past where we have done so many events. It almost feels like we'll be doing an event every month. And of course, Rudy, because you've come and we've been grateful to have your support, we always end the year with our annual recognition awards dinner. And that's the Society's way of saying a big thank you to all of those firms who have exhibited and supported our inspirational event. And of course, we also say thank you to many of the role models who've given of their time as well. And you've been on the receiving end of that yourself. So, but it's not just that. It's also a wonderful opportunity to meet folks who have a similar mindset about inspiring our young people, and not only doing it under sufferance, but doing it because they know it's the right thing to do.
Excellent. And what date will that be this year and where?
Yeah, the annual recognition awards dinner is set for Saturday, the 28th of October, and it's going to be in Westminster. at the Park Plaza Hotel, where we've been before, and folks seem to like that setting, so we're going there again, so should be fun.
Great, great. That's great, Dwayne. So before you leave us, can you just give everybody the website contact details where they can get more information for those who want to get involved?
Yeah, happy to do that. All of the events I've mentioned are on our events page on the website, and the web address is simply www.reachsociety.com. Reach Society is one word.com. So it's all there, and where it's applicable and it's open and you want to be a part of it, just register via Eventbrite. You need to do that for the Careers Conference in London. You need to do that for the Employability Day in Manchester, which, by the way, is on the 8th of April, the following week after the Careers Conference. And you need to use Eventbrite to register for the Luton event, which is, on the 28th of May.
Great. Thank you very much, and look forward to seeing you again soon.
Indeed, Rudy, it's always good working with you, my friend. Thanks for the opportunity.
Bye.
All right, take care.